Talking about a real dirty smell, how about the Krakens, the expansion draft? That was as dirty as they come. And the only thing that really stuck out to me with the Krakens draft, and they added some decent players, but none of those players are going to help that team be the Knights. When we saw the Knights came into the league, the Vegas Knights, they had such a good expansion draft. They went to the Stanley Cup Finals their first year, adding Marc-Andre Fleury as their number one pick. They had a chance. The Krakens had a chance to go after Carey Price. They decided to part ways with that. Made no sense when he went to the Stanley Cup Finals. Who knows what Carey Price could have done for that organization, being that he lives in Vancouver, him and his wife. It's right over there in Seattle. It would have been perfect. But no, they went somewhere else. They went with a younger goaltender. And then Jordan Eberle is drafted by the expansion Krakens, which absolutely helps the New York Islanders. $5.5 million is off their salary cap, which brings their salary cap almost to $19 million. I do believe the numbers are going to start to be in the 20s. I do believe the Islanders are going to try to make a big move. Now, what is this kid from Colorado, his name again?
Gabriel Landeskog.
Landeskog, which everybody keeps talking about. I really do believe that the Islanders are going to do everything they can to try to bring him in on a more cheaper and affordable contract. Well, he wants 8 to 10. I think that if the Islanders can give him $7 million for the next 5 years, I think he'd take it. And he's still fairly young. He's 28 years old. He was the captain of the Colorado Avalanche. You'll have a line with Barzal and Anders Lee and Landeskog. I think this could really absolutely solidify a top line. And we talk about a definition, and you need that number one line. That could be one of the best lines in the league. So the Islanders are going to do everything they can. Zach Parise, I've been hearing a couple of big, veteran players to come over here and play for Lou Lamoriello's team, because a lot of people believe the Islanders are 1 or 2, maybe even 3 pieces away from being a stand. I heard Ryan Suter, who is also coming from Minnesota. A lot of people believe that's where he wants to go. So I think a lot of things are going to change for this Islander team, but it's only going to make this team a Stanley Cup competitive team. And I think Lou Lamoriello, this is the first time Lou Lamoriello has money to spend in the offseason. They have to re-sign Ilya Sorokin. And obviously with the Detroit Red Wings making the trade that they made with the Carolina Panthers, the Carolina Hurricanes, is it?
So did ESPN, so you're okay.
Yeah, that's probably why I said it. The Carolina Hurricanes, I think they're going to have to overpay Ilya Sorokin. That's what I think is going to happen. And as well as they should, because I think he's their future. I think he's a guy that you can depend on in the future for this organization. So as far as the New York Rangers are concerned, and we could talk about the draft last night and the player that they picked, and all in all, everybody thinks that it's Jack Eichel or bust. And I know you guys don't think that, but a lot of Ranger fans just they smell Jack Eichel. They taste Jack Eichel.
I don't know anymore.
But he's not there yet. I think the neck injury, definitely, if I were the Rangers, I'd hold back on it. That's a significant injury. That could be very costly in the future. I don't want to hear what his agent says. If his agent isn't speaking up about it, obviously there's a problem there. I think Jack Eichel, as great as he is, to pay a guy $10.5 million who can't stay in a lineup, who really hasn't played and made a team better, I don't give him that. I do not make that trade. I do not trade away pieces where it could help the Buffalo Sabres out, but it won't help the Rangers out, because then you have a guy on your bench that's never going to play. As great as he is, he plays, 30 games a year and really doesn't make a difference in the playoffs. So your opinion, Josh?
They got Ottman, they drafted yesterday, another winger. He's a good two-way player. I was very confused about it because I thought they were going to get Zvechkov or Roddy, the
Terrible
center.
move, by the way, for the Rangers. They don't need another wing player. They don't.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't understand why they did it. That's why I didn't get why they took another winger.
Chris Drury. That's why they did it.
Well, yeah. And then they traded Pavel Buchnevich for Sammy Trellis and a second-round pick.
Terrible move.
It doesn't make any sense to me. I'm trying to see what Drury's vision is of this team.
Nothing. Nothing. He's going to ruin this team.
From what everybody is saying, in the next 2 or 3 weeks, there's going to be things to be had, but right now it doesn't look great. I'm still confused about a lot of these moves that are happening. They have $30 million in salary cap right now, which is crazy to think, right? The Rangers have over $30 million in salary cap. Even Speedy knows he's a Ranger fan. It's been that's just weird to hear.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what they're going to do.
Jack Eichel.
No, here's the thing about Buffalo. They're still asking for an astronomical amount of players in return. And the crazy thing is, this is going to screw Buffalo royally, because here's the problem. One, Eichel doesn't want to be there. So you have that issue. Two, if they don't trade him now, his no trade clause kicks in next year. And then when that happens, you're really screwed then if you're Buffalo, because if you have those packages from Minnesota and Anaheim and these teams and the Kings that are going to give you good players, and Eichel doesn't want to go there next year, and like he says, I only want to go to the Rangers or something like that, you're in a lot of trouble for your Buffalo. You really screwed the pooch then. And you know what the crazy thing was about the Butch Davis trade is at first I said, oh my God, this is going to be the worst move of the day. Oh, no. There were like 3 or 4 other really, 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 really bad moves that actually topped that really bad move. Like Seth Jones getting the 8 years and the whatever amount of money that he got from Chicago was insane. And then Montreal drafting the kid 31st overall that told teams to not draft him because he's going through like a sexual harassment case right now, and he renounced himself from the draft, and the Canadiens drafted him anyway. Then the Flyers traded for
Ryan Ellis and Rasmus Ristolainen.
They gave up a king's ransom for Rasmus Ristolainen, which I'm trying to even wrap my head around why they did that in the first place.
They want to win now.
You don't
Remember
trade,
Tyler wanted him last
you don't
week.
trade
when he was
9th
on the
overall
show.
for that. You do not trade 9th overall pick for Rasmus Ristolainen. That's ridiculous if you do that. And then Sammy Reinhart gets traded to Florida. Like I said, I thought the Butch Davis trade was going to be the worst move of the day yesterday. No, teams matched. There are so many bad GMs in this league. It's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. The fact that the Canadiens drafted this kid 31st overall when I told him not to draft him because he doesn't want to be a part of the draft. And then Rasmus Ristolainen gets traded for 9th overall.
Nobody said the Flyers front office was smart.
And then Seth Jones even, man. 8 years for $10 million or $9 million, $10 million? Really?
In Lou, we trust.
Seth Jones is a nice player. He's not $10 million.
I love it.
he's that worthy when he's healthy, but he's just not healthy.
Meanwhile, Cale Makar got $7.5 million. And he's a way better defenseman than Seth Jones.
Yes. Don't you guys remember that years and years ago, the talk of the town and talk of the league was Gart Snow? And the Islanders are the secret assassin team now. They're just sitting back.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at it. I mean,
don't worry, the Flyers will be the new Garth Snow Islanders.
It was amazing. Like I said, I thought the Drury move was going to top being the worst move. No. The fact that the Canadiens drafted a kid that didn't even want to be drafted is embarrassing. And to trade Duncan Keith away, a cog and an integral part. I understand Keith's not what he once was, but to trade him away and then to give Seth Jones 8 years for $10 million while Cale Makar, who's a way better defenseman, is getting $7.5 million.
You don't like Seth Jones?
Doesn't even remotely make any sense to me. I like Seth Jones, but he's not worth $10 million.
No, he's a tremendous player, but he's not healthy all the time.
He's not $10 million.
Yeah, the injury risk is concerning.
Cale Makar is a way better defenseman than he is, and he got $2.5 million less than him. That's robbery by the Colorado Avalanche to get that. And if you're Cale Makar and I would fire your agent because you knew what Jones got yesterday, and the next day Makar still accepted the deal.
Because he wants to win. I think he did it because he wants to win. It opens up more possibilities for them to play. That's why I think
Seth Jones is a great player. He's a top 10 defenseman. Maybe he's 9th or 10th. He's not top 5. That's top 3 paid defenseman to get $10 million for 8 years. That's top 3 level you're getting. He's not even top 5.
It's interesting when you watch the draft, and it's interesting when you think about.
I don't even know what Montreal was doing yesterday. I have no idea.
What the GMs are trying to figure out where their team is going to be next year or where they're going to go. And you look at the picture and you're trying to figure out where this picture, is it a Mona Lisa or is it just a picture that somebody draws up?
And meanwhile, Owen Powers got drafted and Buffalo knew he was going back to Michigan and they still took him anyway.
4 of the top 5 picks for Michigan.
So what? Because he's still drafted. They still own the rights to him. So
they do, but he's not going to want to play there.
It doesn't matter.
Reports that he doesn't want to play there.
It doesn't matter. They own the rights. He goes to Michigan for 2 years, and then he's going to come to the NHL. There's no way he's going to sit in Michigan for 4 years.
If I watch it, it'll be like one of those wacky trade things where it's like they trade the rights away because he doesn't want to play there.
It's fine. Or they can use that as a real big piece.
To be fair, if you're Owen Powers, you see what happened to Rasmus Dahlin, who was being compared to Nicholas Lidstrom, and now has become an absolute disaster. If you're Owen Powers, would you really want to go to Buffalo? Like, would you really want to go there after seeing what they did to Rasmus Dahlin? Dahlin
is still young. He still has a chance to be good.
He's gone, and you can ask Speedy. You look at the numbers. He's gone
He regressed this year.
Regressed, Speedy. That's being generous. He's extremely regressed to the point where he has like a -12. It's horrible.
Yeah, his analytic numbers aren't good either.
It's a disaster. He's so lost out there. It's ridiculous.
Well, it has a lot to do with coaching. It has a lot to do where the team is and
that's always the thing. I had to explain that to Lyle yesterday. Like, Lyle was telling me, because the Rangers, the guy the Rangers drafted, it says like on a hockey scout thing, he has like a 1% chance of being an NHLer.
Who cares?
But hold on. I said to Lyle, I said, listen, was it the right pick? Probably not. But don't go by what these people say. Let's be real here.
It's a first-round draft pick.
Go back and look at Nail Yakupov's percentage of being an NHLer and tell me, come back to me at what you said.
Nobody said the Oilers were smart either.
I'm just saying, though, like
Kucherov was a third-round draft pick, okay? Where's Kucherov?
Exactly. It's all about coaching. I hate when they do like the NFL always does this. Let's give the draft class teams a grade for their team. Who cares? They can have an A for their grade and the team and the draft sucks.
Listen to Lyle, okay? Because Lyle always says and has said that Barzal is not a franchise player. He is not an elite player.
No, but
which is ridiculous.
So like they always do those draft grades right after the draft.
Overrated is the word
they do team grades. They do team grades. You could have an A+ as a team grade. Every player could suck.
Ask anybody.
What if a team gets a D?
Ask anybody that's an Islander fan listening to us right now if Barzal is an overrated player.
Last example I'll give you: Emmanuel Quickly got a D+ for the pick.
Oh god,
Emmanuel Quickly got a D+ for the pick.
Yeah, I remember
that. This year. He was better than 95% of the players that were drafted in that draft.
He was a B+ this year.
That's why when Lyle said that to me, I said, "Really, you're going to go by that?" I said, "Go look at Nail Yakupov's percentage of being an AHL and get back to me." I bet you it was in the 90s.